Hello, I'm Esther Githui-Yuot. It's Wednesday, January 26th. This is Africa 54.
In Burkina Faso, a crowd celebrates West Africa's latest coup. How village chiefs in Malawi are helping boost COVID vaccination rates. And we'll tell you how a Nigerian entrepreneur is providing tech solutions for businesses.
Many people were not disappointed with the latest coup in West Africa. On the streets of Burkina Faso's capital, Ouagadougou, on Tuesday, there was dancing and live music, and supporters of the military shrugged off the threat of sanctions and vented their frustration at former colonial power France. David Doyle has more.
More than 1,000 people gathered in Burkina Faso's capital on Tuesday to cheer in their new military rulers. The celebrations coming a day after soldiers ousted President Roch Kabore, dissolved the government, suspended the constitution and closed the borders. West Africa's main political and economic bloc, ECOWAS, is among international voices to have condemned the coup. On Tuesday, it said it was convening an emergency summit and that Kabore had resigned under, quote, threat, intimidation and pressure from the military. Among the crowds in Ouagadougou, coup supporters like Bassirou Zombre had their own view.
They are with the Western countries, which means that we do not agree with ECOWAS. All the people of Burkina Faso do not agree with ECOWAS.
The latest in a long history of coups in the region comes amid an increasingly bloody insurgency in the Sahel by militants linked to Al-Qaeda and Islamic State. Kabore had faced protests over the killing of civilians and soldiers. The coup also follows military takeovers in Guinea and Mali over the past 18 months, which have prompted ECOWAS sanctions. One of the military supporters, Boukari Compaoré, said he wasn't scared of sanctions. That Burkina Faso and Mali are the same, and that ECOWAS should stay where you are. Also in the crowds, frustration at former colonial power France, which continues to play a military role in the Sahel. Signs read "No to France" and a French flag was seen being burned. On Tuesday, France's defense minister said coups in Burkina Faso and Mali were no reason for France and its allies to end their security operation against militants.
That was David Doyle of Reuters reporting. In the aftermath of the stampede that killed at least 8 people during a soccer match in the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon's capital, Yaoundé, Patrice Motsepe, head of the Confederation of African Football, held a press conference to share his conclusions and offer his condolences to the victims of families affected. Along with the 8 people dead, 38 people were injured when fans stormed the stadium hosting a match between Cameroon and Comoros. Images shared on social media show a panicked crowd trying to squeeze through a narrow entrance gate at the newly built Olembe Stadium. After offering his condolences to the victims' families, Motsepe announced that the next match would not be held at Olembe Stadium.
Our deepest condolences to those who've passed on, and we're already sending out, communicating with the families as CAF to contact them, and even those who were injured. The message was, we want to be there for you and provide whatever support and encouragement that we can.
Sunday's quarterfinal, set to be held at Olembe Stadium, is being moved to the Amadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé. Researchers at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say fewer severe illnesses are resulting from the outbreak of the Omicron variant of the coronavirus, despite its highly contagious nature. A study released this week by the Federal Health Agency shows the number of patients admitted to intensive care units between December 19th and January 15th. The period considered the peak of the Omicron surge was about 26% lower than the earlier outbreak of the Delta strain and 29% lower than last year's surge of new COVID-19 infections during the winter months. In Malawi, nearly 2 years into the COVID-19 pandemic, only 7% of the population has been vaccinated against the coronavirus, one of the lowest rates in Africa. Village chiefs are trying to change that by urging people to take the shot from mobile vaccination clinics. Lamek Masina reports from Blantyre, Malawi.
Public meetings and door-to-door campaigns are among the strategies village chiefs in Malawi, like John Sanganiza, are using to mobilize villagers to get vaccinated. Here the chiefs diffuse myths that link COVID-19 vaccine to infertility and allegations that the vaccine is the government's ploy to depopulate the country.
I gave them an example that there is a life-prolonging drug, ARVs. If the government wanted to reduce the population by killing people, it could have used ARVs. But now, many people are taking ARV, but they are not dying.
During the campaigns, chiefs accompany mobile vaccination clinics where villagers are voluntarily vaccinated against COVID-19. The effort started in July as part of a year-long program funded by the European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid Operations. A consortium of 8 NGOs, including Go Malawi, is working to scale up vaccine uptake in rural Malawi. In Chief Pasani's area of 11 villages, about 500 of 1,200 adults have now been vaccinated.
I have long been refusing to get vaccinated because of what some people are saying, that vaccines will make me infertile. So as a lady, my fear was that I won't have children, but I have realized that this is not true because some ladies who are vaccinated are able to have children.
With a population of nearly 20 million, only 800,000 people in Malawi have received at least one dose of the vaccine, far short from the country's target of vaccinating 11 million people by December this year. The low uptake is largely attributed to misconceptions about the safety and effectiveness of the vaccine. However, project implementers say working with the chiefs have helped change their perception because villagers trust the chiefs.
And also noticing that chiefs, their local leaders are also getting the jab right in the community. That is also a very powerful encouragement to the community members. So we have noticed a very big shift in terms of figures and the uptake in areas where we are supporting and running this project.
Malawi government health authorities held the project.
So we could see some people were coming in for the vaccination because of their chiefs, of the mobilization of the chiefs. So this also assisted us and it increased the uptake of the vaccine. Maybe it contributed to at least 15 to 20%.
Project implementers say some villagers shy away from the public meetings because they think they will be forced to get the jab. However, that challenge is overcome by a door-to-door campaign where elderly villagers are voluntarily vaccinated right at their doorstep. Lamek Masina for VOA News, Blantyre, Malawi.
More than 300 migrants were picked up on Wednesday by Spain's Sea Rescue Service. The migrants were trying to reach the Canary Islands in the rickety boats, with 9 of them clinging to a semi-sunken boat. The rescue service says it was unaware of any drownings, as reported by a rights group. Dozens of people wrapped in red blankets arrived before dawn at the port of Aguinaguin on a rescue boat and being helped off to the pier by masked emergency workers in protective suits. 10 people, including a pregnant woman and a baby, were sent to health centers, but none of them were in danger. The islands off the coast of West Africa are now the main destination for migrants trying to reach Spain. The coast of Ghana is home to 5 of the world's endangered sea turtles, which are being threatened by fishing nets and poachers who sell their meat and eggs. To help revive the turtle populations, young footballers have taken it upon themselves to guard turtle nests and rescue turtles captured by fishermen. Senatu Todd reports from Gomoa Fete in Ghana.
We can identify a leatherback by counting the letters skewed. You could see some boxes.
Empty sea turtle shells are commonly found on the beach along Ghana's coastal Gomoa Fete community. The World Wildlife Fund, WWF, says 6 out of the 7 species of sea turtles are endangered. Activists say 5 of those species used to nest in Ghana.
Over the years, we are only now recording about 4 or 3 of these species nesting in Ghana, meaning that we have already lost 2 of these turtle species in Ghana.
Fishermen here say about 50 turtles are killed every year along the 8-kilometer shoreline, drowned in fishing nets or poached for their meat and eggs.
Nti nyamo nyina na wodi saw minya bia ne ye maden mede ya froi moton na ne nam papa no so ma aho obi opa bi na oto bi wa ha obi a wanto bi wan so na mede kogwe saw do so na mede kogwe ma akoton.
Saving the remaining turtles is a team effort. The Fete Youngsters Football Club since 2019 has taken it upon themselves to protect the turtles.
There has been the need for us to educate the community about it, and since the football team is for the community, because I always say Fete Youngsters is a community-based team, it's for the community, and the chief of the town, he is a life patron of the club, so everyone in the community supports Fete Youngsters. So we've taken this as a means or as a tool to educate the community.
During the nesting season, the football team patrols the beaches from dusk until dawn to ward off poachers or other predators that would harm nesting turtles or their eggs. The players also engage the turtle meat sellers and fishing community to educate them on the importance of protecting marine life. Ghana's Environmental Justice Foundation says their efforts are paying off. Turtle poaching reduced from 47 killed in 2019 to 2020 nesting season to 26 in the last one, while more nests have been found along the coast.
The number of nesting events recorded, meaning that the data points that have been captured by our patrollers has increased. In 2019-2020, we had around 50 cases that were recorded in our data sheets. In 2020-2021, we have over 145.
They are numbers that the Fete Youngsters Football Club is proud of. But eliminating the demand for endangered sea turtles, their top goal, and one they are playing overtime to score. Senatu Todd for VOA News, Gomoa Fete, Ghana.
We're excited to hear what you think about Africa 54. Join the discussion on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. We're also streaming our broadcast live on Facebook. Please watch and share our show with your friends. Also check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Still to come, voice-activated virtual assistants such as Siri and Alexa are popular, but Africans are at a digital disadvantage. We'll explain. But first, Haiti Adams tells us what's coming up on Wednesday's Straight Talk Africa.
On the next Straight Talk Africa, we're going to look at the Me Too effect on Africa's women.
Sisterhood! Sisterhood! Hear my voice! Hear my voice!
In recent years, the movement against sexual abuse and harassment has helped bring high-profile figures in Hollywood and global politics to book.
To be a woman is not a crime! To be a woman is not a crime!
But how global and inclusive is the Me Too movement? Is it helping or hurting the fight for women's rights and safety in African countries? We'll also look at the role and space for men in the conversation. So be sure to join me, Heidi Adams, on the next Straight Talk Africa.
Angolan Finance Minister Vera Daves de Souza says that the Southern African country is looking to cover parts of its funding needs through Eurobond sales. Francis Maguire has the details.
Angola will return to international capital markets this year to sell Eurobonds, its finance minister has said. The Southern African country last issued dollar bonds in late 2019 to fund ambitious reforms. But yields spiked to 30% in March 2020 during the market rout caused by the global health crisis. Angola suffered a series of downgrades that drove its sovereign rating into the substantial risk category.
We are doing our best.
But with borrowing costs having come down, Finance Minister Vera Daves de Souza said the government is looking for ways to cover parts of its $4 billion external funding needs.
On our GDP, we have gross domestic financing needs of 13% of GDP. We expect that from that 7% of GDP we will raise internally on our domestic market, and 5.6% of GDP we will raise on the external market, but in a mixture of credit lines and Eurobond markets.
Ratings agency Fitch upgraded Angola from the CCC to B- on Friday. Moody's did the same in September. Speaking from Luanda on Monday, Daves de Souza also said a slow-moving plan to partially privatise state oil firm Sonangol would be further delayed by 2 years.
Sonangol has a lot of assets.
Sonangol is aiming to sell off non-core businesses and, as the crown jewel of a broad privatisation push, list a 30% stake. While authorities initially aimed to launch the IPO before 2022, Daves de Souza said restructuring along with asset recovery and registration work were not complete.
So the balance sheet of Sonangol should reflect in a very transparent way the assets that they have. And today, it doesn't.
The minister said pre-IPO due diligence on Sonangol, as well as state diamond miner Endiama and airline TAAG, could begin this year.
Francis Maguire of Reuters filed that report. Nigeria's digital transformation is underway, creating jobs across all economic sectors. As a result, it is regarded as Africa's most prominent information, communication, and technology market. Some of the world's largest tech giants like Meta, Microsoft, Google, and Cisco all have a presence in the country. Still, a local player like the VSONET Group is making its mark. Africa 54 technology correspondent Paul Ndiho spoke to Joseph Ukagwu, the CEO of VSONET, about the ongoing transformation.
Joseph Ukagwu, welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you very much for having me.
You are one of the leading tech entrepreneurs in Lagos, Nigeria. You've done quite well so far. Bring us up to speed. What have you been up to?
As a team, we've been doing a whole lot in terms of IT and digital skills. We've been trying to build skills and solve tech problems for companies. We're trying to enhance skills for productivity and also enhance, provide solutions to companies by helping schools going e-learning, going online, helping to see there's some schools during that period they were down. I mean, it's really down. We moved on to support some schools for free after that pandemic because we had a relationship with some of the school owners that will tell us a bit about their feelings and their problems, their challenges in terms of how they can gain their market, how they can build the market. And we were able to do some things for students for free.
When I was doing a research about you, trying to learn about some of the things that you've done, what struck me was the fact that you are heavily focused on developing software to help schools, e-learning. You've done quite a lot of work in that space. Maybe how many schools are using your program?
So we have a system whereby the student can take the exam anywhere, can take the school exam anywhere, and can still run his or her program in the school without getting to school. And they have class attendance. They have we have biometric if they are physical, like if they are on site. If they are not doing online, they are on site. We have a platform where the parents can see what the child is doing anywhere in the world.
What type of programs do you teach? Are they like basic programs, or you're looking for people who already have developed those skills, but they want even to advance those skills?
We do more on basics and build from basic to advanced.
You talked about how there's a lot of competition on the ground. You have other people doing almost exactly what you're doing. What is it that you're doing differently? Why should I come to you instead of going to your competitor?
We're in partnership with a global brand, a global provider of IT education. So we have good and current curriculum to teach. And we have hands-on experience. We do hands-on training, making sure that you know it's not just coming to learn it, but you must be able to do it yourself. We're working towards making VSONET a global player in the IT industry.
There is a lot of excitement about AI. There is a lot of excitement about everything tech. People are talking about the fourth industrial revolution, and a lot of young people are now geared towards doing things in AI, artificial intelligence. How are you preparing yourself to be part of that market?
AI has been the in thing, and you've heard about metaverse. AI and artificial intelligence has been one of the relevant or current things moving on and on. And I will also advise not to also ignore the area of cybersecurity, because if you ask me, everything now is going digital, the digital banking and so many other things, how to help organizations prevent hackers and try to protect their data and all that. So this system, cybersecurity, data science, data analytics, AI, I will encourage anyone at all, because you don't have to have a degree in computer science to be able to delve into this industry. If you have the skill set, if you have the desire to learn it, you can do it.
Thank you so much for your time, Joseph.
Thank you for giving VSONET the opportunity to share our dreams and our vision to the world.
Africa 54's tech correspondent Paul Diho spoke to Joseph Ouagadougou, CEO of VSONET in Lagos, Nigeria. Voice-activated virtual assistant technologies such as Siri and Alexa are becoming increasingly common around the world. But in Africa, with its many languages, most people are at a digital disadvantage. To address the problem, some African researchers are creating translation tools to recognize and promote indigenous languages such as Yoruba. Timothy Obiezu explains from Abuja.
Yoruba language teacher Oluwafemi Awosonya is struggling to migrate his class modules to his online students' blog site. Awosonya says he spends several hours manually editing and correcting his notes before uploading to his blog because there is no speech recognition technology for Yoruba.
Language is a language that has to do with signs. That comes with a lot of signs on the top, below. You know, I need to go extra mile. When typing my notes, I have to first type on Microsoft Word, and even when I type on Microsoft Word, it gives me this highlighting, like the words are not correct.
Awosonya has been teaching the language for 10 years and says despite technological advancements, African languages like Yoruba remain neglected.
It limits knowledge. It limits the exhibition of knowledge. There are things you might wish you want to educate the student on. There are things you want to exhibit in the classes, but because there is limited materials.
There are over 2,000 distinct languages spoken in Africa, but researchers say 2/3 of these languages are not included in emerging technologies, making it difficult for native speakers to use technology in local languages. Researchers say this threatens Africa's technological future. Nigerian writer and language advocate Kola Tubosun is trying to address the problem by creating an online Yoruba dictionary as well as a text-to-speech machine that translates English to Yoruba.
If a language doesn't exist in technology space, it is almost as if it doesn't exist at all. That is the way the world is structured today, in that if you spend all your time online every day and the only language you encounter is English or Spanish or Mandarin or whatever else, then you tend to, it tends to define the way you interact with the world. And over time, you tend to lose either the interest in your own language or even your competence.
Tubosun, who advocates for including African languages in technology, says the tech giants are starting to pay attention, but he admits the gap remains very wide.
A lot of obstacles. Some languages are not written down at all. Some don't have scripts. Some have scripts but don't have so many people using the languages or writing them in education or using them in daily conversations.
Language experts say it will take a long time before African languages are adopted in voice-driven technology. But in the meantime, researchers like Tubosun and Awosonya are working to adapt the Yoruba language for technology users. Timothy Obiezu for VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
And that wraps up our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. From all of us here in Washington, thanks for watching.